Good morning and happy Wednesday. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Chump Change. This is live and recorded. For anybody that might be new here, what we typically do is go over crypto news or news in general in the space. I update myself, bring you guys along for the ride. Mr. Veteran Miner, that was a horrible what was that Instagram short reel you just sent me to my phone? I'm like, who is texting me this early? But good morning, sir. Good to see you. Crypto Craig, let's see who's in the chat. Dan R, Nismo Miner, C Honor Mining, what's up, man? We have Alien Black, good morning. Backatran, what's up, man? Good to see you. Crypto KJ, Black Hat Team, Sustainable Crypto for Seniors, what's up, man? Good to see you. We have Swamp 7. Let's see who else is here. Ogre, what's up, man? Lawnmower Man, Backwards Miner, you guys are all awesome. Appreciate you for hanging out. All right, let's get into this. Got a lot of stuff to go over today. Bitcoin 67,956 bucks. Ethereum at 35.45. Not too bad. Things are coming back from yesterday. We had a pretty deep pullback yesterday. It was brief, but it was I think it was necessary, to be honest. I think we need to float around this area for a bit. And to be honest, guys, it's getting to that like nice weather where people just like aren't staring at PCs or, you know, the crypto space or the stock market in general. So usually we have like kind of a, you know, a sideways movement coming out of like the school and going into the summer, and that's why like fall things start to pick up. But that's my opinion anyways. XRP 48 cents. We get Solana 152 bucks. Let's see Caspa, look at this, it's almost 17 cents. Looking great. We get LTC at 77 bucks. Anybody screenshot this for Max if he's here? Somebody screenshot this. Love trolling him with that. All right, ETC 25 bucks. ETC's actually had a pretty big pullback. I think ETC is going to be a sleeping giant though in this bull run. Again, with the Ethereum ETF, Ethereum Classic's just going to be a it's going to have that huge catalyst that'll just drive that market up. Uniswap 5.18% up on the day to $9.77. We got Render. Man, Render's down to 870. Jeez, but it is up 5.15% on the day. Man, I was hoping that would hold over 10 bucks. Pepe's in the deep green today, up 5%. Looking pretty decent. All right, let's jump over to Crypto Bubbles, see what we got going over here. All right, biggest loser of the day, the Cash Network, down 13.8% to $3.46. Terrible. Render again up 5.5%. Caspa up 6.5%, but Rose takes the top here over on Crypto Bubbles. 12 cents up 10.4%. Oasis, its ticker's Rose. Why? What? That's so random. I don't think I've ever noticed that. Teo BitTensor over here, 343 bucks. Looking pretty good. That's up 4.5% on the day. HBAR is up 3.6 to 8 cents. We have almost 9 cents basically. Celestia is down 5.1% to $8.39. Nothing's really popping out at me. Nothing's really popping out. Near Protocols, anybody into this? I got some of this the other day. $6.22. I don't know where I got it at though. I don't remember. I'm hoping I got it on the dip. It was the other day. What's today? 16th? No, today's 12th. Today's 12th. What am I looking at? Oh, this was yesterday. It's only a day chart. Yeah, mine was like last week. Well, that's kind of cool. I didn't even notice you could do this. That's neat. Look at that. All right, I definitely bought up here. Shit. Boo. Bruh. Terrible. All right, flashbang. Fear and Greed Index. Shut up. It is not. Oh, Dan R, you just scared me. I thought you were saying my stream was buffering. We are at a 72 Fear and Greed Index. This is good. I think this is great. This is where we need to stay for a little bit. Hopefully under 75 and just kind of float sideways for a bit, get some positive momentum going, and then hopefully things will pop up. But 72 is perfect in my opinion. All right, looking over here at CoinGecko, trending coins. Let me just refresh this. Welsh Corgi coin. What is that? 7.6% up on the day. Another meme coin. Aether, I don't even know if that's how you say that. 97.6% up on the day. Don't know what that is. MAGA Hat is up 22% on the day. Another meme coin. Interesting. All right, top 10 coins by coin market cap over on CoinGecko. We got Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, Solana, Lido Staked Ether, USDC, XRP, Dogecoin, and Toncoin still in 10th place at a $17.2 billion market cap. We get ADA fighting for 10th place, but it's $2 billion behind, a little over $2 billion behind. So that's a big, in my opinion. That sucks. But Shiba is still one of those coins that has been surprising. It's been surprisingly holding in 12th place, and I don't know how, but it is. So I guess we'll have to see what comes of that. Does anybody hold Shiba? Actually, let me know in the chat. Crypto Craig, what's up, dude? We have Litecoin over here, 77 bucks. Again, 22nd place. Pepe is just behind it at a $5.4 billion market cap. That dude, that's crazy. That's crazy how high Pepe is on this chart. Man, these meme coins, dude, it's insane. Well, look at this. Caspa flips Ethereum Classic into 29th place at a $4 billion market cap. Ethereum Classic's at a 3.7 or 3.8 basically. But yeah, placed 30th. Damn, Hadouken for Caspa, but a big oof for Ethereum Classic. I like both of these coins. I am a big holder in both of these, so I like them both. Render, again, I have a little bit of it, not much, but definitely I was hoping that was going to stay over 10 bucks, but I think it's going to do well in the bull run, to be honest. But it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what I think. Let's check out a few other coins real quick. Lithium, because I usually end up checking that after we look at the A6. $1.88. Not too bad. That could be worse. Could be worse. Let's go to the year quick. Man, $1.60, $1.55. Man, I don't know what's gonna happen with the lithium. We need something to change though. Something needs to change. Dynex has been doing really good lately. The last couple days anyways. 82 cents. Look at that. Nice. Coming back. Perfect. It's still ranked 552. And it's only got a market cap of 740 million. I'm sorry, 74 million, if I can speak. Let's see, what's Flux at? 89 cents. Look at that. Look at that. They're pretty much the same. Interesting. Interesting. Does anybody hold Flux or Dynex? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. And Nismo Miner says, yeah, Pepe's crazy. Dude, it's weird, right? It's nuts how far it's gone. That's why I don't think there's that much more to gain with it. But hey, listen, things can happen. Weirder things can happen. All right, let's move on to A6 over here. You guys know I like to timestamp this stuff. This is the most profitable ASIC on the market currently. The KS5 Pro 21 terahash unit making $90 a day. We have the KS5 20 terahash unit making $85.95. KS5M 15 terahash unit making $61.71. The KS5L 12 terahash unit making $47.73. We got the Ivy Link BM KS Max and the Dragon Ball Miner KS6, both 11 terahashes making $40.75 a day. The Wind Miner K9 10.3 terahash unit making $40 a day, and the AL box making $36.29 a day. That's awesome. Shout out to my man Fully Electric. I believe he just got his, and I'm hoping it's killing it. Let me know if it is, Fully Electric, if you're here. That's awesome. I want to know if it's actually making this a day. That's great. Payback times 5 months, 5.1 months basically. The KS3 8 terahash unit making $29.58 a day. We got the KS3M 6 terahash unit making $19.79. Pretty good, right? Pretty decent. Did I see somebody in the chat say the L9 was going for like 13k plus? I think it's going for like 15. I could be wrong though. Let me know. Not the KA box, the AL box. AL box is what Fully Electric got. Oh, it's 12.5. Really? Terra's prices dropped that far on it? Really? Well, if you guys are interested, hashes, Terra hashes, go check out this site if you guys would like. This is all into the door, by the way. Actually, you know, I might be on Twitter. I don't even think it's on here, is it? L9. Is it on here? I can't remember. No, it's not on here. I think it's on Twitter. Did he post on Twitter? Oh wait, KS5. Hold on, what's going on? Let's go to script. L7, L7, L7. Oh, L9 right here. Wow, it is 12.5. Damn, I thought it was like 15k the other day. Am I wrong? Wasn't it? Yeah, I would be careful with that guy, Peepaw Bill, to be honest. He is not very trustworthy. But the L9 pre-order for August, 12,500. Interesting. Very interesting. All right, let's see. I think that's gonna be it's gonna be crazy if it's anything as good as the L7. The L7 is a 3-year-old unit. All right, it's about 3 years old, maybe a little more. I have the 9050, okay, and this thing still makes me, after 10 cents per kilowatt hour, $9, or just $10 a day, basically $9.97 it says right now, but about $10 a day, which is insane for what it is. That's after electricity. It's crazy, absolutely crazy how good it's held up. The Ice River KS2 2 terahash unit making $6.44. That's pretty crappy. I don't even think they make the KS2s anymore, do they? I don't think so. The KS1 1 terahash unit is making $3.24 a day. Terrible. Prices dropped some. Crypto Craig. Interesting. Yeah, people, I've heard not trying to throw shade at anybody, but I've heard some shady stuff, like somebody bought a different unit and like it was advertised as such and it showed up and it was like a lower hash rate unit and the guy got screwed, and it wasn't the first person that it's happened to. So just be careful. All right, KSO. Oh, by the way, I wanted to tell you guys, this right here is somebody messing with this website. Do not click update anything. I'm not even using Chrome right now. This is Brave browser. This is a virus or something. It's somebody like exploiting their site, and hopefully you click on it. So please be careful if you're on this site. I'm not going to say you told me that, but I'm pretty positive that will ruin your computer. So don't click on that. If that pops up, just hit the back button. All right, because that just obviously did it to me. Anyways, Ice River KS0 Ultra 400 gigahash unit is making $1.63 per day. This thing, I think I'm gonna be getting my hands on one, if I'm not mistaken. They said they were gonna send one over, so hell yeah for that. I can't wait to put that in the solar trailer, and I can't wait till my stuff shows up, dude. Friday, all my solar panels supposed to come. Don't click on random shit. Yeah, exactly. That's the rule to live by. Ice River KS0 Pro 200 gigahash units making 70 cents a day. Again, this is after 10 cents kilowatt hour. I'll probably be making about $1 a day if I didn't have an electricity bill. Well, I don't with the solar trailer, but that's that. The Ice River KS0 100 gigahash unit is making 31 cents a day. That's pretty crappy. What's up, Yusuf? Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. All right, S19K, look at that. I am making a whole 10 cents per day. This is my 120 terahash unit. Payback time is 446 months. Shit,
bruh.
Oh, that's pretty terrible. All right, let's move on to GPUs. Thing's gonna come off the rails. All right, 4090 looks like Graham. It's top of the charts for all the 40 series cards. Iron Fishing Graham, Iron Fishing Husat. Interesting. Looks like that is the overall consensus here. We got the 3080 12 gigabyte mining Zealous and Iron Fishing Graham, and then we get this AITT, whatever that is. Interesting. Dynex on the 3090 Ti. Look at that. Nice. Nice. So you guys got, I mean, there's really not that many coins to pick from, but these are the most profitable of the day. Seems to be Graham, Ironfish, and Graham. How's Ironfish doing, actually? Ironfish isn't one of those projects I'm gonna ever be into, but if it's profitable, mine it. Look at that. $1.11. Nice. Couple legs up, looks like, but it's still down in the shitter. Jeez. That's to say, oh my god. That's to say the least. The reason I don't like this is because it came out at $150, and I will never forget that listing. It came out at 150 bucks. It only registers here at $8, but it was 150, and it literally just tanked down to less than $1. It was insane. I don't trust anybody after that. All right, CPUs, let's see. Monero and Zephyr, highest revenue, highest profit. Interesting. So you got either one of those coins, probably the most profitable on your CPUs. Nice. Look at that. Sweet. All right, moving on. New coins. Let's see if we got any. Regus over here. Nope. Zytex. We saw this yesterday in this butterfly one. Interesting. Nothing new. Nothing new. Blackrock shorting to protect their spot positions long for the ETFs. Still, I'm looking at 64 cases. Big Shifty. Nice. You know what? We're going to be watching a crypto zombie video, and he's going to be actually going over that stuff and saying why it's very, I think it's unlikely that they're actually, what's it called? Shorting the Bitcoin market. All right. Upcoming events. Gold Cash is going through a halving in 57 hours, 0.25 to 0.125. over here on their block reward, and then CAU is going through the hard fork in 11 days, and this fake Pepe coin's going through it in 16 days. It's having. Anyways, move on to the news segment of things. We got the FOMC meeting later on today, if I'm not mistaken. So let's hear what CNBC television has to say. This came out 39 minutes ago. Let's get into it, guys. That like button, appreciate you for hanging out. Let's do, actually, for the record, the like button is over here now. If you're on the PC, it's stupid. I hate it. I don't know why they changed it from down here, but nonetheless, let's do it.
Markets are awaiting that key CPI report that's due later this morning. Consumer inflation is expected to show a slight increase on a monthly basis and a rise of 3.4% on an annual basis. That would be similar to the increase that we saw in April. For more on that and today's Fed decision, we want to bring in Ian Shepherdson. He is chief economist at Pantheon Macroeconomics. And Ian, here we go. You expect things to be in line with what we just said, up 0.3%. And if so, what does that mean for the Fed?
Real quick, thank you, Crypto KJ. I did see your link. It says breaking U.S. CPI inflation comes in at 3.3%. I'm pretty sure that's what they just said. This is lower than a 3.4 expected and 3.4 last month print. Interesting.
Well, I think it's probably what they expect as well. So I don't think it's going to make any big difference to the decision today or to the tone of the comments from the press conference from Chair Powell. Of course, what we've learned over the last couple of years is these numbers can throw up surprises. So if the core reading, ex-food and energy, throws up a 0.4 instead of a 0.3, markets will be very unhappy and Chair Powell will have some explaining to do. But, you know, I think that's unlikely, but I'm never going to rule it out because these numbers have consistently surprised over the last couple of years. There's a lot of stuff ahead of the number that we just don't know. It's kind of a sort of a black box that we got to guess at. And, you know, usually it's okay, but it has misbehaved over the last couple of years. So you've got to be a bit careful. Even if
it is in line with expectations on an annualized basis, 3.4% is hotter than the Fed would like to see. The target's 2%. Yeah. So how would that possibly pave the way for them cutting rates, even if it's in line?
It's about a couple of things. It's about direction and belief that the direction will remain on a downward track. It's very bumpy. This is the word that Chair Powell keeps using. It's bumpy. We can't expect it to get better every month. But as long as they believe that the forces that caused inflation to go up have faded away, in the pipeline, they'll eventually get through into the numbers that matter. And the Fed has to be very aware of the danger of leaving things too late, because if they wait until inflation gets back to the target and it's still on a downward track, and they wait till then before they start cutting interest rates, then they'll have left it too late. This is a problem with monetary policy. That if you wait until you're absolutely certain, then almost by definition you're too late, because policy takes so long to then work through in the opposite direction. So they need to make a judgment about whether the trajectory is good enough, even if you're not at the destination that you want to be at.
If they're wrong, though, that's a big problem, and it cuts into the Fed's
and of course they were wrong.
They cut, and it turns out that, oh my gosh, we shouldn't have done it yet.
That's
the path of least resistance is to do nothing.
Yeah, of course. You know, and they're very cognizant of the whole transitory fiasco a couple of years ago when they thought that the inflation spike would be brief, and it wasn't. And that proved to be disastrous to their sort of collective reputation. Market confidence was lost, and they can't afford to be wrong again in the same cycle, in the same direction. So this has made them a lot more cautious than previous Feds would have been. Most Feds, looking back over the last 40, 50 years, they start to cut rates before inflation has peaked because they know that what they've done by raising rates will bring it back down again. This Fed daren't do that because of the whole transitory
Why are you
fiasco.
so convinced? I mean, when we look around, it looks like there's a lot of liquidity sloshing around. You look at the markets hitting new highs almost every day. You can look at things like Bitcoin that have been above $70,000. That is not suggestive of a really super tight economy, especially when you look at what the consumer's doing.
Well, the consumer, I think, is beginning to slow down a bit now because cash flow has finally slowed. Now, last year's cash flow for the consumer was enormous. It ran at like double the long-term pace. But this year, things have slowed down. So I think that the softening in retail sales in the last few months probably is the start of something sustained after a long run of upside surprises. But the important contrast, I think, is between those very loose, big picture financial conditions that you mentioned with the market, new highs, and looking at the state of the small business sector, which employs half the workforce, and small companies are paying 9% for their short-term money, 9%. So when PPI inflation is about 2%, that means real rates for small businesses 7%, which is excruciating.
No argument that that is a real credit crunch, at least in areas of the economy. It's just that it hasn't spread everywhere yet.
It hasn't, no.
And the
No.
consumer, we had Bank of America in yesterday, the consumer is continuing to spend with their latest readings of 69 million accounts, so both consumers and small business that they're looking at.
Yeah.
It's being driven by younger people and cash on hand. Their cash balances still well above where we were before the pandemic.
Yeah. So I'm not suggesting the economy is rolling over. What I'm suggesting is that the slow growth that we saw in the first quarter is probably more representative of where we'll be for the rest of the year than the very strong growth that we saw in the second half of last year, with big surprises to the upside. And from the Fed's perspective, that's a risk because the unemployment rate is creeping higher. You know, it's hit 4% now in May. The Fed didn't think we'd get there until the end of the year. So today they'll revise up that forecast. They'll also revise up their inflation forecast. It's kind of a weird and unusual combination. But they have to be aware of the risk that if they leave this squeeze on the small business sector on too tight for too long, then that rise in unemployment accelerates. And before you know where you are, you're looking at a rate that's heading towards 5%. And that's too high. It puts too much downward pressure on inflation via wages. Not this month, not this quarter, probably not this year, but next year. And because of the lags in monetary policy, next year is what they need to be thinking about now. This year's inflation story is kind of baked in now, but barring some sort of external shock, it's pretty much, it's going to do whatever it's going to do. But next year, and 26 even, is what the Fed needs to be thinking about when they've got their hands on those policy levers today. They're not going to do anything today, but they need to be thinking about the future.
When do you think they will cut?
September, I hope. You know, it depends on we've got 2 or 3 more inflation reports before then. We've got a couple more payroll numbers. I'm expecting the big May payroll number to be revised down. And looking across the business surveys from the NFIB, small firms, ISM services, the PMI, they all have employment measures. Every one of them has weakened quite sharply over the last few months. If they're right, then the next few payroll numbers will be weaker, and then Powell can set something up at Jackson Hole, where presumably he'll make a speech about policy, and that would open the door to September. But as far as I'm concerned, I'd like them to do it today. They won't.
Oh boy. All right. Shout out to CNBC for that. Real quick. Crypto KJ, thank you for this. Over here, the United States Senate, I guess Miss Elizabeth Warren sent something over to Chair Powell. We write today to urge the Federal Reserve to cut the federal funds rate from its current 2-decade high of 5.5%. This sustained period of high interest rates is already slowing the economy and is failing to address the remaining key drivers of inflation. Furthermore, the European Central Bank, which, like the Fed, has a mandate to steer inflation towards a target of 2%, cut interest rates for the first time in 5 years. It's time for the Fed to do the same. The Fed's monetary policy is not helping reduce inflation. Indeed, it is driving up housing and auto insurance costs, 2 key drivers of inflation, threatening the health of the economy and risking a recession that could push thousands of American workers out of their jobs. You have kept interest rates too high for too long. It's time to cut rates. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Sincerely, your lady, Elizabeth Warren.
Bruh.
She's a pain in the ass, but whatever. Is that a good thing? Probably. Who knows? We'll see. All right. Federal will likely indicate 2 rate cuts on the, what's the rest of this? Table for the year. Interesting. All right, let's see what they got to say over here on CNBC television. Again, this was about an hour ago. Let's do it.
Huge day today, obviously. A lot of anticipation about no decision expected, but exactly what Jay Powell's going to say. The last time we got one of the Fed's projections, often called the dot plot, that was back in March. What are you expecting when it comes to that dot plot this time around? The last read was 3 cuts. Do you expect that to still be the outlook?
Yeah, I think that we are clearly expecting that the dot plot could move down this time. It doesn't take a lot to shift this dot plot. You only have to have one official mark down their expectations for rate cuts. And what you get at that point is a 2 rate cut by the end of the year. I think there are some economists who are thinking it's even possible you could see a bigger shift down to 1 rate cut by the end of the year. I think the question is, do officials see such a drastic change that enables that to happen? And, I think it's an outside risk. I think the most likely outcome is we see a shift to that two rate cut by the end of the year move.
Max, I'm sorry. Sorry for getting you going, but it wasn't me. It was her. I promise. Crypto KJ, see what you did. You made Dad upset.
All right, so today, of course, we get CPI before the decision and before the Jay Powell news conference. On Wall Street, we seem to be reacting to every, cough and spit, whether it's jobs, whether it's GDP. How important is this inflation report? The Fed's maintain that they're data dependent and really focused on their dual mandate, which of course is jobs and inflation.
Dude, she's a pain in the ass though. Like she speaks up on everything, and she just wants. She's just one of them people that want to control everything. You know what I mean? So what are you gonna do? Just ignore it. That's
Yeah, I would say it's really important. They like to say that they don't care about one number. But I think if you get a cooling in the CPI, what the Fed will take away from that is, we came into this year thinking inflation was cooling. That trend basically remains intact. The first 3 months of the year weren't sort of emblematic of any bigger problem that we're facing. Things are basically happening as we had hoped. But I think if you get a hot CPI, on the other hand, what it looks like is, we've now got quite a string of faster than expected consumer price index reports, and we have to take that pretty seriously. And so I think this is sort of a pivotal CPI, and it's worth noting that the Fed will have an opportunity to update its summary of economic projections, that dot plot that we were just talking about, in light of this data. So they have up until mid-morning this morning to change their forecast. So the take we get on the economy from them will be a live one. It will be updated in real time.
Now, that's really interesting. So I think you just put even more anticipation on the CPI report.
Oh, damn. Hold on. Let's go back real quick. April 2024 CPI year over year percentage change overall is 3.4%. Shelter, that's just housing, up 5.5%. Food is up 2.2%. Gasoline's up 1.2%. And used vehicles are actually down 1.4%. Actually, you know what? I've noticed that you guys, have you looked at like the used market for like Teslas and how much they used to be? And like how much they are now? Like they're stupid cheap for what they are.
Anticipation on the CPI report that comes out before the opening bell. I also want to talk to you about quantitative tightening. What are you expecting to hear when it comes to that? So just a quick history lesson. Just about a decade ago, Ben Bernanke just suggesting quantitative tightening led to that so-called taper tantrum that really led to a big spike in bond yields. In this case, wouldn't that kind of be doing the Fed's job for it if bond yields went up?
Yeah, but what we've seen from the Fed so far and what we saw at the last meeting is that they're actually sort of tiptoeing away from quantitative tightening. They're slowing down that process. They are doing it officially for sort of mechanical reasons, but I think that they're also quite worried that they don't want bond yields to spike up in an unruly way, which is certainly what happened in that instance with Ben Bernanke. The taper tantrum was a pretty, unplanned and unpleasant event for them. And I think that they also saw back in 2019, the last time they did this, the last time they sort of rolled off their balance sheet, shrunk their balance sheet, they saw that they went a little bit too far, and it really led to some pretty serious ruptures in financial markets that required them to swoop back in and buy new bonds. Okay. And so I think that was not ideal. They would like to not repeat that experience. And they're trying to do that this time by being more careful.
Unruly and bond yields, I don't think those have ever been put in a sentence before, but you just did it just now. All right, so you're going to be in the room. You're going to get to talk to Jay Powell. What's the question that you really want to ask him and have him actually answer?
I would love to know if they are worried about what will happen with financial markets if they keep interest rates at this level through the end of the year. So I think, it's clearly become a risk that the Fed is not going to make a lot of rate cuts this year, that they maybe won't even sneak in any. That's a very outsized risk. Most people still expect a rate cut by December at least. But, if they don't succeed at that, if they don't pull it off, they don't get rates down, are there pockets of financial markets that aren't prepared to deal with that world of much higher rates for much longer? We're already seeing some stress in commercial real estate. So I would be really interested to know what vulnerabilities they're watching as they think about this path forward.
Interesting. All right. Oh, don't know what the hell that's about. Anyways, moving on over here. Bitcoin drops to 67,000 level as crypto investors await Fed's decision on rates. CNBC Crypto World. Let's do it, guys. That like button. Appreciate you for hanging out. Let's get into it.
Just like stock market investors, crypto investors are watching the Fed and its decision on rates tomorrow afternoon. It's widely expected that the Fed will keep rates unchanged, but Wall Street is waiting for more clues on whether the central bank appears likely to cut rates in the upcoming months.
Interesting.
Okay, let's talk about the top stories. The Securities and Exchange Commission is now considering a spot Ether ETF from ProShares. That's according to this filing yesterday, showing that ProShares is entering the spot Ether ETF race nearly 3 weeks after the SEC approved a rule change that would pave the way for ETFs that buy and hold Ether. Specifically, on May 23rd, the SEC approved VanEck's 19B4 filing for a spot Ether ETF, along with 7 others, including Blackrock's and Fidelity's. But the SEC still needs to greenlight each ETF's S1 filing to begin trading. Now, the development came less than 6 months after the SEC approved spot Bitcoin ETFs, which have proven to be a big success for the industry. ProShares does not currently offer a spot Bitcoin ETF in the US, but the asset manager offers ETFs that track Bitcoin and Ether futures. We reached out to ProShares about the spot Ether ETF development, and a spokesperson told us the asset manager declines to comment beyond the filing. Next, today Ripple said it launched a Japan and Korea fund with the goal of driving innovation on the XRP ledger in the 2 markets. That ledger is an open-source public blockchain built for corporations. The move also signifies the blockchain firm's effort to expand its presence in Asia-Pacific, one of its fastest-growing regions. In a statement, Ripple's Vice President of Strategic Initiatives said, "The launch of the fund is a, quote, testament to Ripple's strong belief in the potential of Japan and Korea as pivotal regional hubs for blockchain innovation." Ripple said the funds will go toward supporting corporate partnerships, developer grants, startup investments, and community growth. The expansion comes as the crypto industry faces a hostile regulatory environment in the U.S., according to Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse. Last, the Federal Trade Commission is warning consumers about romance scams involving crypto. The warning issued yesterday notes that some victims have lost millions of dollars from these scams. The FTC says typically scammers send random social media messages to their victims, and over time builds enough trust to have the victim send money under the impression that the funds would be used for investing purposes.
I personally know somebody that's been hit by this. I've said it before on the stream, and it is so freaking sad. It is so sad that people are that desperate for somebody to like give a shit about them. It's nuts. It's literally, yeah, it's called the pig butcher scam. It's for, like, look it up on YouTube. It's like the craziest video ever. But the person that I know, I'm not gonna say who it was, but they lost literally, like, all right, so let's just get into this, right? First things first, they messaged this person on, I think it was like Facebook or something. I don't know. I don't have that stuff, but it's like a dating. Is there dating through Facebook? I don't know. I'm pretty sure there is, but this scammer messaged this person right through Facebook or whatever it was, and they literally communicated for like 3 months, and then they got this person to get into crypto trading, and he was sending money to a platform that he thought was a real platform, and it was actually a fake platform, and it seemed like he was making all this money, and then he couldn't get his money out and started asking me questions like, what's going on with this? And I dug into it. My man Yeti looked into it. It was fake. It was a fake exchange. It wasn't even real. And he ended up losing $250,000. No joke. So these romance scams are so much more sophisticated than you guys think. Please be careful. Yeah, it's a lot. And the person's close to me, and it's a fucking shame, because I wish he just told me about it before he even got into it, and I would have told him.
In the warning, the FTC stressed that if someone you meet online says they want to help you invest in cryptocurrency... That's exactly what it was. Like, he was... That's fucked up. So, like, they literally were like, oh, man, like, she is probably some, like, Indian dude, right? Not trying to be a jerk, but, like, that's usually how it is. They end up messaging and saying, like, oh, I'm actually a crypto investor and showing profits and stuff, and that's what got him in. And he, like, sent a little bit of money. He made a bunch of money. He was all excited about it, and then sent more. I'm like, dude... God damn, like, it's crazy. I don't know. I don't understand it. It's an investment scam.
I don't know how you fall for that.
Now, the notice says that crypto is one way the scammers try to get money from victims, but that they might also ask for gift cards or payments via apps like Zelle and PayPal.
So
this
sad.
Is the second time the commission warned of crypto-related scams this month, usually stemming from random messages from unknown numbers.
And I'm like, you know, the biggest thing that kills me is, like, the broken English thing. Like, how did you not know? Like, reading this, like, I'm reading like some things that he sent me, and I'm like, dude, this, like, I could tell this isn't normal. I don't get it. Like, I feel so bad, but at the same time, it's like you did it to yourself. Like, for one, greed gets the better of you, and two, it's like loneliness, man. Like, people just want to believe anything. And guys, guess what? Today's day and age, you can Google anything. Like, earmuffs, all right, people? You want to see titties? Just Google it. Like, literally. Like, you can just send them whatever and be like, hey, this is me. Like, of course it's not you, you idiot. It's Google. Like, what the fuck? I don't get it.
All right, for our main story,
it's
Architect
insane.
Partners, an M&A and financing advisor for crypto companies, recently released a
Crazy.
note on M&A activity for crypto public companies. That includes last week's announcement from Robinhood that the trading platform has agreed to buy the crypto exchange Bitstamp for around $200 million in cash. I spoke with Elliot Chun of Architect Partners about his latest notes and why he thinks the acquisition is a good sign for the crypto industry. Your latest note calls the Robinhood Bitstamp deal an important marker of the current market and says Robinhood's acquisition of Bitstamp shows valuations have, quote, right-sized again. Why do you think valuations have come back to earth?
Well, a couple of reasons. One, just from a macro perspective, all valuations have become more reasonable. I think in the 2020, 2021 timeframe, we were living in kind of a euphoric environment, particularly for valuation. There were a number of reasons why you saw rounds go higher. You had a lot of market participants that wanted to get involved in the crypto industry, putting capital in when maybe they weren't 100% focused on it. So investing discipline may have been, could have been a little bit better. And so that led to a series of valuations that were, we'll call it inflated now that we get to look back. And with the Robinhood acquisition of Bitstamp, it really helps us reset the market to what we are finding today for market clearing prices.
So overall, why do you think Robinhood's acquisition of Bitstamp is a good sign for the crypto industry?
Yeah, one of the most important reasons is what we call bridge transactions. That's when a traditional company acquires a crypto native business. It's really important for our industry. When I say our industry, crypto, it's important for us to have adoption from others than just the crypto natives. We're not going to have too much success as an industry if we are only playing with ourselves. And so with Robinhood, we have a traditional publicly traded company, although they are skewing towards more the innovation side, that is acquiring Bitstamp, which has long been a 10 plus year track record, has a really good reputation of following the regulatory landscape and frameworks. They have one of the more robust regulatory licensing regimes. And Robinhood is now gets the opportunity to grow their crypto business, which in Q1 was reported to be about 20% of their revenues. Now they get to apply that playbook from a global perspective.
And the acquisition was announced last week, about a month after Robinhood disclosed that the SEC had sent it a Wells notice and warned that upon completion of an investigation, the trading platform could be charged over its crypto operations. Your latest note also emphasized that the deal with Bitstamp would expand Robinhood's global reach, as you just noted, and would ensure its global participation in crypto trading at a time when its crypto division is under scrutiny by the SEC. Do you think Robinhood's move to acquire an international crypto exchange was strategic, especially given the timing just weeks after the trading platform got that Wells notice?
Yeah, it's fascinating the way Robinhood's last 31 days has played out. They got the Wells notice shortly after they announced a staking product in Europe, which we all know staking has been controversial from a regulatory perspective here in the US. Then they announced record revenues for crypto in the US, and then they announced the acquisition of Bitstamp. To us, this is behavior of a company that may not be too intimidated by the SEC and the Wells notice that they received. We hope that this is in line with the improving US regulatory political environment. We've always lived in a hostile environment. If our industry gets anywhere close to neutral, or dare I say even positive, I think it'll be a very transformative tailwind to how our industry operates. So there have been many on your show that have been talking about the SEC and the current stance. Robinhood's move could be an indication that publicly traded companies here in the US have confidence that crypto as a business has strong prospects going forward, particularly from a regulatory environment.
Interesting. Now, Architect Partners is an M&A and financing advisor for crypto companies. And you also put out a note last week providing a snapshot on crypto public companies. In it, you point out that the last 2 weeks saw, quote, meaningful M&A activity for crypto public companies. According to Architect Partners, crypto M&A activity is experiencing a rapidly increasing pace. Over the last 2 years, there was $1.2 billion in total announced consideration. In the last 2 weeks alone, you note that there was $2.3 billion in total announced consideration. And we talked about the Robinhood Bitstamp deal, but what other recent potential deals in the crypto space have you been paying attention to? We've seen a couple involving Bitcoin miners, which were rejected. What does that signal to you?
Yeah, well, the signal, you said it best. I mean, talk about total consideration paid. We talked about valuation earlier. We have not been in this market environment where we've been seeing this type of activity for 2 years, for 24 months. That's a long time. And when you think about the last 2 weeks with 4 M&A transactions that have been announced, it gets us really excited. And it gets us excited. One, there are a few strategic themes at play. We talked about Robinhood acquiring Bitstamp, bridge transactions. A second theme here is crypto businesses bolstering their comprehensive services. And so for BitDeer, they had acquired an ASIC chip designer called DesiWeMiner. That's an example of a crypto business really trying to become vertically integrated in the value proposition that they provide to the market. A third theme playing out is building a category leader. And when you look at Riot's proposed acquisition of Bitfarms, the whole thesis is how can that combined entity become the largest publicly traded Bitcoin miner? That's a significant statement, and that's attractive for a number of different reasons, particularly post Fourth Halving. And then finally, the last theme, it's a little bit buzzy, but it is the AI and crypto theme, where CoreWeave, which is an AI-focused platform, privately held, proposed a combination with Core Scientific. And so a lot of groups are saying, well, how can AI and crypto play together? This is in motion. And again, they rejected that one, but it is a real sign of M&A activity for particular themes playing out. And one thing to note, that CoreWeave and Core Scientific, the consideration announced was $1 billion. And in December of 2022, Core Scientific was going through a bankruptcy process. So a really remarkable turnaround for that organization, and a good indicator of the growth of Bitcoin mining, particularly in publicly traded companies.
Now, Chen also provided his outlook for crypto M&A activity and discussed whether the momentum we have been seeing over the past 2 weeks will continue.
Interesting. All right, go check out the full thing if you guys want over there. All right, let's move on to videos. Mr. Crypto Zombie, my man over here, guys, hit that like button. Link is in the description. If you don't know who Crypto Zombie is, I don't know why you know who I am. Go over and watch him for sure. All right, let's get into it.
What's going on, guys? K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day today. I know I have not made an update in about a week. The reason is because there's really not much to talk about. You know, I could make videos every day talking about every little price move. I figured today was a good day to make the update because now that we've had this Bitcoin, price movement to the downside, everyone's freaking out. All the bears, they're coming out again, right? This is it. That was the top. It's over. We all got fooled. Well, before we get into the video, I just want to say we all got fooled. Just so you guys know, this is one of the most pathetic retail bull runs I've ever seen. Like, if you think that this is crypto mania, no, this is not crypto mania. In fact, this has been the quietest bull run I've actually pretty much ever participated in. It's mostly just being retail driven right now. Now, you might say to yourself, well, doesn't that mean more manipulation? They don't care about price. That means they're probably shorting it. I've even heard some people saying that BlackRock is shorting the markets right now. I'm going to get into that at the end of this video and explain why that is probably one of the most ridiculous theories. And I'm a conspiracy theorist myself, but that is a ridiculous idea. But what I do want to talk about is specifically what is happening in the charts today. And I'm going to make this video super quick, super short. I don't want to waste anybody's time. And hopefully by the end of this video, if you are still here, you'll understand that while everyone is out panicking, there is tons of evidence to show us that the big guys are in fact accumulating and that this bull run is not actually over. Now, it may not feel that way. It may feel like it's boring. It may feel like it's over. It may feel like, this is the end of the world. But I think if you watch this video all the way to the end, you'll understand why, honestly, this is really just that chop to hunt out those leverage plays and really just mess with the little guys. So without further ado, guys, let's hop right in. We're going to go straight to the charts. Super short video today. If you guys do like videos like this, slap a like, drop a comment below. It does help to spread, these shorter videos. So let's hop in. So we could see here in typical fashion that when Bitcoin takes a hit, you could see down about 4.73% in the past 24 hours. Most of the altcoins get hit even harder, as you could see here with these deeper reds. This is very, very common. When Bitcoin falls, people panic. If they're in altcoin positions, you tend to see these altcoins get hit even harder. But, just sticking on the Bitcoin chart today, what we had was we had broken out of this falling wedge pattern. But really, if you just have a look, the only thing that's happening is we are still just trapped in this giant range. Yes, you could say, oh, well, we had this ascending trend, but we did fall out of it. Well, you could also say that we had that back here. So people that were freaking out about this fall from, about 72.
That's a really good point. It looks it's exactly the same.
All the way down to 56, you could argue that possibly that's exactly what is happening right now. But I know what you're asking yourself.
And would that be the worst thing, really? We'd be able to buy some more. So, I mean, it's really not that terrible if we come down to there, right? If we friggin' fall off a cliff, that's a totally different story. But this, that's not bad.
Okay, I get it. Bitcoin's still range bound. It could just bounce between 61 and 71 potentially. But what about the fact that the S&P is making all-time highs while Bitcoin is not seeming to follow? There's always that conspiracy. Is Blackrock shorting, right? Well, I'll again get to that at the end of the video. But one of the most logical reasons for this happening is simply open interest. And there are a lot of people who are trading on leverage. As the price starts to increase, you get people getting extremely bullish, and then as price starts to fall, people get bearish, they pile on their shorts, right? And you can see some of these areas of interest down here. Of course, as you zoom in, these levels will change. I'm just zooming out and having a look at the monthly just to make it a little easier, and you could see, I wish I actually had the chart pulled up previously, but there was a lot of, interest down in these areas, and basically, unfortunately, what happens is markets tend to, punish these over-leveraged traders. So this area down here, you could see specifically around 65,000 to around 64,000, there's a lot of area of interest that would end up liquidating some of those longs. However, on the flip side, if we look up at this hot guy right here, we do have a lot at around 73,000, which should suggest that we would eventually end up punishing those shorts as well, because we've seen a lot of the institutions, not a lot of them, but we have noticed that they have started ramping up their shorts, and we do know that at some point you are going to get a squeeze, a short squeeze in particular. But let's just have a look at the structure of this chart right here. Yeah, you could say right here, things were getting pretty heated, things were getting pretty bullish, and yet we've fallen back down. However, if we just have a simple look at this parallel channel right here, we are still putting in higher highs and higher lows on the macro. Even if Bitcoin, for example, was to fall straight down here to honestly around $59,000, you would still say that we're putting in a constructive pattern. And yes, of course, on the daily, we have seen some of the money flow become a little bit stagnant. This is actually something that is quite common in the summertime. Why? It could just be the psychology of traders. Summertime is for relaxing. People are on vacation. They're enjoying themselves. And you don't really necessarily see those crazy, crazy summertime moves, right? If you look back historically, sometimes it can be a little bit of a boring time. And, for people that are saying that's it, we're looking for a 50% crash, I'm just going to be the one to say that that is probably not going to happen. Could it happen? Of course, I'm not Nostradamus, but the likelihood is not very possible, or not very likely, I should say, because as you guys can see right here, look at this massive candle that was bought up right here back in basically the last week of April, right? So Bitcoin had fallen about 11% from this area, which is actually even a bigger dip than what we're seeing today, by the way. And look at how that wick got bought back up and actually ended up pumping price up about 28%. That is massive, massive buying. And you can see every time, we go down into these dips, someone is buying. Who do you think is buying? Well, I can tell you right now, I speak to a lot of people behind the scenes in the industry, and these ETFs will continue to buy these dips. I'll explain at the the end of the video why it makes no sense for BlackRock to be shorting Bitcoin at this moment. But if you did want to have a retest of that area, which by the way, you could argue was a very, very important resistance back here between February, back in 2021, all the way through May of 2021, well, we may just have to retest that area again. But once again, that would really only suggest around a $57,000 Bitcoin. Now, if you're thinking we're going to have some kind of a massive price move, well, then I guess we could go all the way back to this major trend. But again, the odds of us falling straight
Could you imagine how many people would panic? People would just panic.
Down are not likely.
Kind of good,
if
though.
We had a fake out, bounced around, retested this area right here, which is around the 0.786, bounced around, faked out. Yeah, okay, maybe we come and test this line, but, when would that happen? Would that end up happening all the way at the end of the year? Because obviously these markets are designed to take money from the inpatient and transfer it to the patient. And you can tell that a lot of people are getting bored right here. They're thinking that this is the end. They're thinking that this is the top. But guys, you got to zoom out. You know how many people thought the same thing down here? And this range lasted even longer. Look, this range, arguably lasted about 217 days, whereas the range that we're in right now has only lasted about 98 days. And look what this did right here. We got support on that line and we bounced back up again. So is that $57,000 area out of the cards? It's not out of the cards, but if you do believe that we are in a bull market, which I believe at this point it should be pretty dead obvious that we are. There's multiple things pointing towards it. You have, look at this massive money flow that we had all the way back here. We haven't even gotten to that level yet. That peaked at around 51. This market has only peaked at around 34 right now, okay? So this is obviously just emotions, and you could see that once we get supported on these weekly EMA ribbons, the worst case scenario is coming down to the 89, and that usually does signal that we're probably at the end of the bear market. But for the most part, we might dance on it, we might use it as support, but we tend to stay above it for a very, very long time. It's only once we start to, muddle around in the middle that we start to get that concern. Now, I'm not, gonna say anything, but what do you guys see? What are you guys seeing right now? Well, we're seeing massive support at the top of the EMA. We're seeing massive support at the top of the EMA. Well, where is that level today? That level is sitting at around 61,000. So yeah, there could be a possibility that somebody's waiting for this dip down here, but ultimately everything is still showing us massive bullish structure. And you might be saying, oh, well, the RSI is oversold. Yeah, well, look how long it stayed oversold back in this pump and then continued to pump, even into it. So moving on to one of the biggest indicators that I think that we have to pay attention to is this pi cycle top indicator. And yes, it's very possible, even if you go back here, you could see that we do have multiple tests on the bottom EMA. And it's only really once we break the previous high and break that EMA, do we see fireworks to the upside. Now, of course, history doesn't play out exactly the same.
No, that was me. I took a screenshot. Sorry.
I'm not expecting this to play out exactly like all previous cycles. In fact, I don't think it will, simply because we have the institutions. But you could see right here, we come down to the bottom EMA, the pi cycle, Bitcoin gets bought up. We come down to the bottom of the PM, okay, we fell, what did we fall below it, okay? We came down about what? Oh, an extra 3%. My goodness, the world is crashing and everyone's dying and it's falling. No. And then institutions or whoever, somebody buys it up. And look what we're doing right now. And what's happening is this bottom EMA is leveling out and we're bouncing around in this area. And as soon as you break that previous all-time high, you could see that the next area of interest is almost around $90,000, which, by the way, shout out to Kevin Svensson if you've been following his parabolic, advance. That's basically the target, right? So in the short term, yeah, it's going to cut you up. It's going to chop you up, especially if you're using high leverage, not suggested. But if we zoom out even longer to the pi cycle, which, by the way, this has been an on-running indicator essentially since the inception of Bitcoin. We have data going all the way back to 2012. In no instance did we ever have a top before at least minimally breaching the top of this 350 DMA, which is the top, the purple line right here, right? You can see right here, we break above it, okay? And, obviously we continue. We break above it and we continue. Over here, same thing. And if you want to zoom in here and say, oh, well, what happened here? Okay, well, technically we still broke above it. And really all this was a mid-cycle correction. Yes, it sucked to have that drawdown. Don't forget, this was COVID. Okay, so this was a black swan. You know, I think we would have actually continued sideways and had more constructive pattern if we didn't have that. But, you know, come over here, what did we have? You know, you could even argue, yeah, this was a double top, but we still broke above it and got significantly above it, right? Well, if we come over here, I mean, is this breaking above it? You know, barely touching it, you know, getting above it by what, maybe a couple $100. So again, if you think we're going to have something like this, fine. We have consolidation through the summer, but it is still showing that we have momentum to the upside. And like Seth pointed out, the Bitcoin sells into massive buy walls. Whales are filling their passive bids. Look at these buy walls every time.
What is that? That looks like some sort of like AI BS.
Time the price dips, these dips are getting bought. He says,
dude, Dan R, thanks for being a member for 13 months, dude. Perfect. You're awesome. Appreciate you, dude. Over a year, man. Insane. Thank you.
Seeing massive bids, I can assure you, rich buy low, sell high, poor buy high, sell low, and remain sidelined. So you're going to hear a lot of people coming out, a lot of bears, a lot of analysts saying, I told you so, that's it. It's a triple top or whatever. We're going down to 35K and lower. I just don't see that in the cards. In fact, if we just have a simple look at the CBBI historical chart, which by the way combines multiple indicators, pi cycle indicator being one of them, okay, you can see that we have not even come up to any of these levels. In all previous instances, we have at least broken above where the price was, right? And probably topped out around, you know, somewhere. I mean, this was a mid-cycle top between 87 to, I mean, I'm not sure. Have we ever actually gotten to 100? I think we got to, oh, we did get to 100 right here. Okay, so that would be like ultimate extreme, probably sell everything. And at
Coin Talks Crypto Bitcoin Bull Run Index.
the peak, where were we at right here? About 80, 82. Okay, so again, I think that what's really happening is that a lot of people are not understanding.
It's probably like right here, like back in 2013 when we had like it was getting into the red, but then it came back a little bit and cooled off. I mean, there's no chance this is the end.
The game has changed. The institutions are now involved, and this is not the same game that they are used to playing. So I just wanted to make this quick video for you guys. By the way, if you do like quicker videos like this, please slap a like. It helps to push this video out to more people. But at the end of the day, is BlackRock shorting? No, they're not. That would make absolutely no sense. And yes, I'll agree that they are a profit-driven company. That is 100% absolutely true. However, they do have a very big ego, and they're not going to launch an ETF only for a few months later to crash the price to then wreck all of the people that just invested in the ETF. That is just.
Do you know how much confidence that would rip out of BlackRock in general if people were straight up just, you know, they bought into this thing and then they tanked the market? Like they're never going to launch ETFs to ruin their customers. Their customers are what make that company.
Not something they're looking to do. And most people are attracted, let's be honest, to price increasing, which would have more allocation, which therefore would increase their profits for their holdings, right? So that is just a crazy theory. I mean, if you have some kind of proof or evidence, you can drop that below and I'll just say I'm wrong, although that sounds insane to me. I think ultimately what we're really just seeing right now is more consolidation, right? We have all these different indicators that we've looked at for many, many years on the channel. There's nothing that's screaming that this is a top. Now, yeah, there are some levels that if we do start to fall below it, then we have to accept the fact that, okay, now we have evidence in the charts that's saying this is over, but right now it's just pure speculation and nothing has changed outside of the fact that we have been very, very bored out of our minds and there has not been much real price action going on really in the charts right now. So ultimately, guys, that is really it for me today.
All right, shout out to Crypto Zombie. He's amazing. Love this channel. If you guys aren't subbed, go check him out. Links are in the description for all the videos we watched today. All right, Altcoin Daily, dump it. Bitcoin will crash hard if this happens. Let's see what he's got to say over here. I'm not sure. Let's do it.
The Bitcoin price is in the danger zone. Most other channels won't share this with you. I will. That's why over 1.47 million of you subscribe.
Is that why? Is that why they got so many?
But with the amount of leverage currently in the system, Bitcoin longs speculating the price will go up, and Bitcoin shorts speculating the price will go down, now is the time as a Bitcoin investor to pay attention. $6.3 billion worth of Bitcoin shorts to be liquidated if/when the price hit $74,000 per coin. Shorts being liquidated is good. Shorts, people betting the price will go lower, being liquidated, meaning they were wrong, meaning that pushes the price higher. If this happens at
I don't think it's good. It sucks that people lose money, but yeah, don't be shorting it.
$74,000, that's good.
Even though you can't
It'll
make money.
explode the price. Yet, and I will say yet, a whole lot more longs to be liquidated at $59,000 per coin, which is bad.
Listen, if you guys know how to like trade, like you can make money up or down in any market.
If this were to happen around $59,000 per coin, this crashes the price lower. So let's talk what comes next. Also watch the whole video for XRP news, Solana news, altcoin news, and more. But Bitcoin dipped today due to one big reason, being the Fed meeting tomorrow.
So this week is going to be insane. First, on Wednesday, June 12th, at 2 in the afternoon, we will have the Fed meeting results followed by a speech from Jerome Powell. We don't expect the interest rates to change in this meeting, but we will have an updated dot plot which will show us how many times the Fed members think they will cut interest rates this year.
So nobody expects the rates to change at tomorrow's meeting, although the Dow also dropped more than 200 points as Fed policy meeting kicks off. So it starts today, results tomorrow. But
I think it was probably just a short you came across.
Reason for this volatility in all markets and the significance of tomorrow's Fed meeting is this dot plot they're about to update does not happen every meeting. It's happening tomorrow.
This meeting will be very interesting because we will have an updated dot plot, which only happens every 2 meetings. For those who don't know, the Fed dot plot is a forecast where the 19 Fed members share their expectations for the number of interest rates cuts coming this year and the next.
So the dot plot gives the Fed...
Has anybody heard of that? I've never heard of that.
...updated projections for rate cuts throughout the rest of this year.
Kind of neat, I guess.
Their tone could move markets. And because the Bitcoin price is in such a tight range with so much leverage, expect volatility.
For example, the market is currently pricing 1 to 2 interest rate cuts this year. If the Fed said they would hike interest rates, the market would panic sell and the economy would tank.
Now big things are happening with altcoins. And keep in mind, no matter what the price of Bitcoin does day to day, accumulation is happening. The amount of BTC acquired by US spot Bitcoin ETFs just last week was around 8 times the amount mined over the same time frame, meaning supply on the market is getting bought up, meaning Bitcoin
8 times the amount last week. So it's 8. So the amount that was mined last week, they bought 8 times the amount. That's crazy, dude. I don't think people understand how scarce Bitcoin is going to be.
As an asset is becoming more scarce. And this is global. Even today, with today's small dip, the Hong Kong Bitcoin ETFs bought that dip, accumulated a respectable 26 more Bitcoin. And this is important. This is the type of thing you send to a friend. When you see the Bitcoin price dropping, just remember where it inevitably must go. This is the available capital in the world versus this small area right here, the available Bitcoin.
Oh, shit. That was kind of cool looking at. Look at that. That's the available Bitcoin, just that little peak right there. Because everybody else has got the rest of it. That's crazy.
Available capital in the world versus this small area right here, the available Bitcoin.
It's really simply put,
We're
but that's kind of
heading
neat.
in one direction. And by the way, ticket prices for Bitcoin.
God.
I had some Ethereum. That's where I started my kind of crypto journey, mining Ethereum back in 2016.
Crypto thought leader Anthony Pompliano just revealed, I sold my Ethereum and bought Solana instead.
But I sold that, I think end of last year, beginning of this year, whatever it was.
Damn.
And bought Solana instead. And it was very much a decision like, I think that Solana is going to outperform Ethereum moving forward. I want to, make this change in my personal portfolio.
What do you guys think? Solana going to outperform Ethereum? I mean, it's definitely possible. The fees are way better on Solana. The crashing needs to be fixed. I don't know if it's going to flip it this run, but I don't know. We'll
so far that has been true.
Now many people try and pit Ethereum versus Solana or Solana versus Cardano. against each other, I like all three. But it's very interesting what Solana is doing now and what comes next.
Here are the 15 biggest things that happened on Solana last month. First, PayPal's PYUSD stablecoin is now live on Solana, but what makes this really
That's a big deal, actually.
cool is that it uses token extensions, which means without any additional coding, you have out of the box confidential transfers. You have memo fields and all sorts of plugins that can be enabled via transfer hooks.
So like, if you're wondering if Solana this year still has momentum, let me play you just 60 more seconds.
Second, Cosmos, Solana, handshake emoji. Cosmos is creating the internet of blockchains, and now Solana is hooked into their IBC, their inter-blockchain communications protocol, thanks to Picasso Network, which now means you can move between the networks easier than ever. Google Cloud has announced a new partnership with GameShift, which is the API out of Solana Labs that makes it easy for developers to create on-chain games. It's a big deal.
Shit.
Makes it easier for anyone using Google Cloud to now launch a game on Solana with rich in-game experiences, seamless payments, all that other good stuff.
Wait, if Solana's getting like really in bed with all the big guys like PayPal, Google, that's big. That's really big.
So Solana is being integrated into Cosmos. It's also being integrated into the Bitcoin network.
21.co has launched 21BTC. This is a firm with billions of dollars in assets under management, now offering a native Bitcoin product on Solana with institutional grade security and full collateralization. Number 5, $120 million has been bridged from other chains to Solana in May. And in just the first week of June, by the way, we're already half at that mark, which is pretty incredible. Number 6, Solana's revenue crossed ETH mainnet's revenue for a day in May. I'm old enough to remember when they said this could never be done. There's still a long way to go. This does not include all of the L2s and the rest of the ecosystem. And of course, it was only on one day, but we are showing that low fees on a fast network with a lot of throughput can actually be an attractive proposition that can create real economic value.
As long as it doesn't crash, yeah, for sure. But what happens when meme coins die? What happens when meme coins stop being a thing? I don't know. I feel like it's kind of like this, like last run, it was NFTs. This run, it's meme coins. You know what I mean?
News coming out of altcoins. And by the way, I am an investor in these coins.
Of course you are. Of course you are. All right, let's just move down to XRP news.
Also XRP news. Ripple partners with National Bank of Georgia to digitize their economy.
I would like to see Ripple as like gluing together enterprise participation in DeFi, like being as like a one-stop shop for enterprises that want to participate in the DeFi ecosystem, using Ripple's tools and technologies with the XRP ledger, you know, having a significant fraction of the features they want.
Meaning the country of Georgia will start to use XRP, or at least Ripple software, for their economy.
But also them having the opportunity to access, you know, whatever services are out there that they want. You know, like the great thing about the internet isn't Amazon, it isn't Twitter, it isn't any one thing. The great thing about the internet is that everything is like, it's the everything place. And I think what we need to have is we need to have a place where people can get, I'd like to see the XRP ledger providing a significant fraction of those interesting DeFi experiences, particularly the ones that are more enterprise focused.
This is an ongoing story, so click subscribe. You do not want to miss a video.
Well, shout out to Altcoin Daily and Crypto Zombie and all those guys that we watched today. CNBC television. They're all awesome. All right, let's do a little recap for anybody that might be just joining. Let's see what we got. Deep green market. Holy shit. Bitcoin. 69,317 bucks. Perfect. Are we at 67 when we started? Were we at 67 when we started? What in the hell? Perfect. This is awesome. Look at this. Look at this. Caspa was under 17 cents. Hell yeah. 17 and a half cents. Look at that. XRP at 49 cents, 88 at 43, LTC at 78 bucks. Damn, market looks way different from when we started. Holy shit. That's crazy. That's crazy. 9-cent H bar if anybody cares. Let's see. Not is up 16.97% over here. It's not a coin, but it's up to a penny, almost 2. We have Jasmy over here. 5.55% up on the day. I actually sold it around 4 cents just because I was like, how much more can this go? I'll take the 3x, 4x and get out. Hold on 1 second. All right, let's see. Anything else? What do we got? Crypto bubbles. Move on. See how things change. Damn. All right. Biggest earner today seems to be Notcoin. Again, 2 cents, just about 1.8. Interesting. Caspa again 11.3% up on the day, 17.5 cents. Dude, Caspa's gonna be insane. You know what? I was just looking on Discord. Somebody posted this. Where is it? Let me see. And he said, "Don't shoot the messenger." How do I open this? Let me see. What is this? What is this? The blockchain trilemma: decentralization, security, and scalability. I think Caspa is going to do crazy things. And if you guys look, is this what happened with Bitcoin? Is this Bitcoin's chart? Like, what is this? What are we looking at here? Is that what this is? Coinbase listing 20x, Upbit. What is Upbit? Upbit listing 40x. OKX listing 80x. Binance listing. I feel like Binance would come before anything. That's just my opinion, but that's kind of funny. Interesting. I don't know. Caspa's going to be insane once the smart contracts come and the KRC20 tokens fully launch and the Rust is fully launched. It's going to be nuts. Absolutely nuts. What do you guys think about Caspa? Let me know. Want some BNB? Trade Ogre needs to unlock their Caspa wallet. Dude, are they still locked up? Are they really, Tains? I have never put Caspa into Trade Ogre, thankfully. But real quick question: can you swap your Caspa into like LTC or something? If you can, that's what I would do. I would just swap to LTC, get out of it, send it to your wallet or your Tangem. Actually, Tangem's linked in the description. If you guys don't know, Tangem's, like, to be honest, it's my favorite wallet. Let's see. Tangem, best crypto wallet, in my opinion. Code CCXD gets you 10% off. But it's like the cheapest wallet ever, right? And this is without the code. I have promo code CCXD. Apply it. Look at that. Yeah, so it gets you like almost 10 bucks off, but 50 bucks for 2-card set. I would get the 3-card. Oh, and by the way, these cards, if you know, like, they allow the seed phrase thing now. The seed phrase thing is not, it's not recommended on these wallets. And the reason behind it is because you have 2 other wallets that is your backup, okay? If you lose one wallet, all right, no big deal. You get 2 more. If you lose another wallet, you're borderline stupid. All right. If you lose a 3rd wallet, just get out of crypto, okay? Just get out of it. You don't need the seed phrase, though. The seed phrase is actually more vulnerable because people can get it in different ways, right? Other than just getting these cards and then having your PIN number in your brain attached to it, right? The seed phrase it's just another point of failure for somebody to be able to recover it if they, find it in your safe or on your desk or on your computer or a picture on your phone. Or people are stupid. Don't do stupid things. It's not smart, right? So I don't know. I would recommend don't do the seed phrase thing. Get a 3-card set and completely just keep it separate. That would just be my opinion. But Tangem does hold Caspa, and if you scroll down, there's like a whole bunch of coins. You can search anything here. But yeah, Caspa's like the first hardware wallet that like held it. So that's why I have it. I keep all my Caspa on it. And you can actually swap through this wallet as well. I wish they would show you that, actually. Do they show that? I don't think so. They have like a exchanging service basically where you could literally buy Caspa directly through this wallet. It's freaking amazing. That's how I do it. I just swap my USDT into Caspa, or Litecoin into Caspa, or whatever. Doesn't matter. It's just stupid. It's stupid cheap, and it's guaranteed for 25 years. This wallet itself has never had an exploitation since they've been around. So nothing's ever gone wrong with it. And they're actually coming out with a Tangem ring. I can't wait to see that. Do they have any pictures of it? The Tangem ring, where is it? I don't have it. It's like an NFC ring, dude. Thing's black. Let's see if I can Google it actually, because that's sick. Tangem ring. I guess it wouldn't be Google. They have images. There we go. There it is. Look at that. Look at that thing. That's gonna be the Tangem ring. How sick is that? So sick. Having a crypto ring. I cannot wait for this thing to show up. I can't wait. I asked if I could grab one from them, so we're gonna see. We're gonna see if that happens, but amazing. Anyways, guys, listen, I gotta get back to daddy duty. We're going to be changing the time of the stream slightly. All right, I gotta get my kids to camp starting next week at 8 o'clock. So once I get them there, I get home, hopefully stream around 8:30. We're gonna try to schedule things the night before and possibly just be able to jump into it as soon as I get back from dropping the kids off. So hopefully instead of 8 a.m. it'll be 8:30, but if it gets pushed a little further, I apologize. Is what it is, but we're gonna play it by ear next week. All right, so that's that. Let's see. Oh, looks like time to replace my wedding band with the Tangem ring. Dude, that's what I'm 100% Tains. 100%. That's what I'm gonna be doing. But I wear a rubber ring anyways, the silicone, because being a plumber, if you get your hand caught in any machine, I've seen so many guys missing this finger. It's not even funny. I'm not even kidding. Electricians, plumbers, everything. Even a guy playing basketball. I knew a guy that he went to dunk the ball. His ring got caught on the edge of the hoop and literally pulled a tendon out of his arm like a piece of bacon fried on a hot plate. It was disgusting. Anyways, I'm getting bombarded by kids. You guys have a good day. I'll catch you guys bright and early tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time ish, 8:15. I'm trying to like push it. Maybe we'll go 8:30 tomorrow, but let's go raid Miss Randy Hipper. She's live in 5. I will catch you soon. Peace. Have a good, happy hump day. Peace out.